Chat, we got a tragedy that we got to talk about. Apparently, an IRL streamer got stabbed live in Japan by one of her fans. That shit is scary, dude. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Dude, man, I don't know about that, dude. Dude, that's fucking terrifying, dude. She's just probably minding her own business, and then her fan probably stalked her, so. And of course, Japan is probably the most notorious one because of the weird, what is it? Just kind of, I think, I would assume it's the parasocial relationship, I think, you know? Yeah, I want to take a look at this because I'm very concerned about this one. I'm very concerned about this one.
Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at another one of these just insane stories that has just happened to an IRL streamer in Japan. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've seen, it seems like, an increasing amount of stories of people who have some sort of issue with like IRL streamers or whatever just kind of showing up wherever they're streaming and causing problems. Just a couple days ago, I made a video where a couple of American female streamers, Valkyrie, and Nyaru, I believe it was, they were all live streaming and a guy showed up and was trying to like get one of their numbers, and then when he was rejected, he followed them around like threatening to kill them and all kinds of just like insane shit. Well, tragic.
Well, there was a comment or so in that video specifically where like kind of stupid for her to respond that she doesn't have a phone or doesn't know how a phone works when she could have just responded, be like, no, I'm not really interested, you know. I'm like, yeah, I'm just like, you know, it could have been just like, yeah, I think the response that she gave off wasn't really that great, I'll be honest with you. So I think what Emberdu was the one that gave off the response. Yeah.
In the story we're about to take a look at here,
but it's not like I'm saying like, you know, what happened to her is like, you know, correct or anything like that, right? No, it's still wrong in my personal opinion with that dude trying to like stalk them and then fucking threatening them too as well, which was pretty fucking crazy.
Was actually brutally killed on stream by the guy who found her or whatever here, and it blows my mind that people are willing to take any of this far, right? Streaming is, I think, never that important to where like you should feel inclined to kill somebody because of their stream or whatever here. Now, I don't know the reason off the top why this woman here was killed on her stream.
I can take a real good guess why. I can take a pretty good guess because it's Japan, right? Probably it's that one-sided parasocial relationship where he's like trying to confess to her and then she rejects him and then he goes crazy, lets loose herself, and then starts, you know, killing her. You know, that's probably like kind of like the most common one around. Either that or else, you know, maybe they discover that she has a boyfriend, maybe, or something like that, you know? So that could also be another thing too.
The title of the article suggests it could be a multitude of different things, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the article here and kind of piece this one together because it really just doesn't make sense to me why this continues to even be a thing, really. So, a Japanese streamer was stabbed multiple times while IRL streaming to over 6,000 people in Tokyo on March 11th at 9:50 a.m. Japanese Standard Time. The streamer Airi Sato was walking the streets of Shinjuku while live streaming on the Japanese platform Watch. According to Need to Know, she suddenly began screaming for over a minute before a man covered in blood and holding a knife appeared on screen. Quote, "Are you dead yet?" asked the alleged attacker, described as a hater or anti-fan in Japanese media.
Wait, what? A hater / or anti-fan? Oh, that's interesting. What? Okay, I wasn't really expecting that outcome to be the actual thing. Oh man. Oof. Wow. Makes me want to rethink my thoughts or so of trying to do an IRL stream far off into the future, to be honest. I don't know about that now. I don't know about that.
Broadcast continued with all of this going on, with fans eagerly concerned about the well-being of the woman even as emergency sirens roared over the black screen. Quote, according to police, the suspect said he wanted his money back, leading to speculation that he may have been a viewer who donated money to her streams.
There it is. There it is right there, chat. Let me guess. He probably donated money to her to support her, you know? Like really large sums of money, but then found out, you know, he must have found out either she like rejected him, or that he found out that she has a boyfriend or something. It has to be something like that.
Said journalist Jeffrey Hall. All right,
it has to be.
Just a fucking insane news story to begin with, right? Like, usually when you hear about IRL streamers, nothing ever actually happens. I mean, there's been thousands of IRL streamers who've just, you know, done their thing over time. But then there's very specific situations like this you hear about where things just go wildly too fucking far. And like I said, the timing of this compared to what just happened the other day with the other, it's just scary to think, man. Like, I really, as an IRL streamer right now, I would, if that was my job, I would be reconsidering, man, because you really unfortunately never fucking know with the internet, bro. And people don't seem to understand this, unfortunately. As cool as the internet is, you can do a lot of fun stuff on it. There's a lot of websites to check out and things like that. But when you're dealing with these other people, especially anonymously and whatnot, you never really know who it is you're talking to on the other side. Or like in this instance, as an IRL streamer, she had 6,000 people watching. You never
That's
know
a lot of people.
who one of those 6,000 people could be. I mean, just statistically, I would imagine if you have 6,000 people in like a big room, one of those people has to turn out to be like a fucking complete psychopath, right? Who's willing to do something like this. It really blows my mind that that is the way that things are. But dude, just you never know online with these people, because
that's very true. That's actually very true. Why do you think most of the times I usually like stomp out that parasocial thing? I had a comment or so specifically on my YouTube channel, right? That like you're kind of still doing that sort of parasocial relationship because you're kind of like hanging out with your chat and stuff like that. Well, I'm here to entertain you guys, you know? That's how I see myself. I try my best to come online. We have a good time, we make fun of people, we kind of judge people, or we discuss some stuff on here, and then we go play video games afterwards, it's like basically do our work first and then play games later, I'm like, I don't go off the deep end with the whole parasocial relationship. I guess you can kind of say, yeah, it kind of is in some sort of way, but not really, because I don't really tell you guys like my life. I don't tell you guys everything. I don't tell you what's wrong behind the scenes or what's happening behind the scenes, or like, my well-beings or anything. I just say, I'm just tired. That's it. I just give you guys like the most blankest like response ever, No! Shut the fuck up, Black Ops. This motherfucker. Just fucking... Oh, that slap all you kids, I swear to God. Oh my goodness gracious me. Yeah, that's the only thing, That's like kind of like the basic like of... This is one of the reasons why I like to keep my distance. Like, as much as, like, I wouldn't mind getting to know you guys, right? But I'm still putting up barriers and walls against you guys, because, like, at the end of the day, right? You guys don't know me, and I don't know you guys, right? You guys are still strangers to me, and I'm still a stranger to you, okay? It kind of works kind of both ways at the end of the day, Same thing with my YouTube audiences. I don't know my YouTube audiences, They don't know me. They barely just recognize me from the video that just got super popular that has over like 70K views for some apparent reason. It's still climbing for some apparent reason. I don't know why. I don't know why it's still climbing. It's still climbing to this day for some apparent reason. But it's just like, this is one of the reasons why I just kind of like to keep my distance, because you don't know who can be crazy, Like, you don't know who that one person can be like, will just end your life, That's it's like one of the reasons why I like to keep my distance, because you know the internet's crazy, bro. There are a lot of crazy people on the internet. The only reason why these people are crazy is because they can hide their face. You know, you don't have to expose your face of who you really are. You can say whatever you want behind the screen, you know, without any consequences. So that's the only reason why I kind of like, you know, I like keeping everyone, you know, at arm's length at all times, you know? Always got to be cautious. That's it, you know?
Some of these people have literally nothing to fucking lose. Like, this guy apparently was willing to hunt down this streamer and commit murder on live stream, by the way, in like broad daylight, where everyone's gonna see it, everyone's gonna know who did it, right? These types of people just have nothing going on, man. Now, the details, a little bit gruesome for me, man. I hated reading this.
Yeah.
Like, from the way it sounds, this man was stabbing this poor woman for well over a minute before anything even happened. I mean, from the sound of it, she was still alive. Like, that is such a horrible
Holy
thing to have to go
shit,
through,
Jesus.
bro. Obviously, she couldn't really defend herself in this instance. I'm assuming he came up on her by surprise and did this. Like, she probably didn't even see the guy coming in the first place. Just such an excruciating and terrible way to go out in front of all these people. So obviously, rest in peace to this poor woman who was just fucking murdered. Apparently, this guy wanted his money back, and so people are thinking like he was a donator or something. I don't know how Japanese streaming works in comparison to like here in the United States, but all the times that I've streamed, most people, if they ever donate, which is already like a smaller portion of the audience anyway,
Yeah.
they usually are only donating like $1, $5, maybe $10, right?
Yeah.
It's not like they're donating $70,000
Yeah.
to a streamer or
Yeah,
something
yeah, yeah.
fucking crazy.
Exactly.
Now, granted, he may have dumped a bunch of money over time or whatever, but I cannot imagine he ever dropped enough money that he would need it back from this fucking streamer he was watching, to the point where he hunts them down and fucking kills them in broad daylight. I mean, there is just, I don't know, I don't think there's enough money in streaming for you to be able to do something like that, right? That sounds like some sort of mafia kind of shit. It's nonsense to me. The suspect, a man in his 40s identified as Kenichi Takano, told police that he, quote, didn't mean to kill her. Takano
Guy gets caught, and he literally says, didn't mean to kill her. Crazy. Crazy for this guy to say that, dude.
reportedly visited a restaurant where Sato worked since August 2022 after watching her broadcasts and had sent her money. Quote, I managed to raise funds with my savings and consumer loans and lent Sato more than 2 million yen for living and other expenses. I made up my mind to attack her as she wouldn't give my money back, he told police.
For $13,000, bro. 2 million yen? You fucking, you donated 2 million yen? Hey, Marm. How you doing there? Welcome, welcome. Really? YouTube is recommending you some videos from mine? Well, welcome, welcome. Wait, it was a loan? No, no, there's no way. There's no way it was a loan. It's impossible. That'd be the most crazy. That'd be the most craziest thing if it was a loan.
The Standard reports Sato had died after wounds to her head, neck, and abdomen that she was found unconscious before being rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. So honestly, this whole fucking situation just sounds weird, right? So he's known this woman for like 2.5 years, I guess. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if he found her at the restaurant because he liked her streaming, or if it was just some guy who walked in wanting fucking sushi or something, and she's like, oh yeah, I stream, and he, you know, tuned in after that. I don't know, but either way, I guess he decided to loan this girl almost 14,000 US dollars.
I bet you he probably found the girl cute or something, and if he gave her enough money or so that she would like him or so in a very like romantic relationship kind of type of way. I would not be surprised if this could be the motive as well. And then she probably like rejected him, and then he probably like completely, you know. Also, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Like there's multiple ways where this can go, basically, when it comes to this situation itself.
For living and shit like that, and then I guess she wouldn't give the money back or whatever, so he just decided to fucking brutally murder her, right? Now that is different than like donating to her stream. At first that's what I thought, right? I thought like, he was chatting in there and he was like, hey, love your streams, here's $5, stuff like that, right? But this sounds more like an arrangement loan or something, right? Like he's talking about he took out consumer loans and all this other shit for this woman. First off, you have to be a complete fucking lunatic to do that anyway, right? How many of you would walk into like a fucking Burger King today, right? You see a woman at the cash register who's like, yeah, I stream on Twitch, and you're like, okay, let me go take out $15,000 in loans so you can live. Even
okay, if this is what actually happened, that he lent her basically $14,000, right? It would have to be some sort of way or so where, like, you know, where he had some kind of feelings towards her, something, you know?
though we just met yesterday, right? That just doesn't make sense. That doesn't add up at all. Who the fuck would do this? And this guy's in his 40s and he's this angry over streaming and shit like that anyway. It's like, this guy was clearly a fucking loser, right? Like, he clearly just had nothing going on for himself. And truth be told, he allowed himself to kind of get played here. I mean, even from the way it's being described, it never sounds like she made an arrangement to give him back anything. It sounds like he was just like, oh, I like you, or I like your streams or whatever, so here's the money. And it sounds like it was a gift. I mean, if it's a gift and she's not like on any record or whatever saying, hey, I'll pay you back, I mean, you're kind of opening yourself up to this shit here, bro. But to go as far as murdering her in revenge, like over something that you did, like a mistake that you as a person made, just fucking insanity. These kinds of people—
No, he was working over there, I think, right? That's what he said, right? Or was it her that was— no, because said that she was at the cash register, right? So I assume that he's working at the job, because he's working at the job, and then she visited, so...
Bro, they cannot be walking around with everybody else, right? These people, they gotta be locked up in the loony house. This is the type of person you put in a padded room for the rest of his life in a straitjacket and just let him go.
You never want people like these kinds of mentally ill people out in society, because it's just gonna become very dangerous. Like, even the most recent VOD or so that I saw from Asmongold's clip channel, there was like a crazy trans person who pulled out a gun or so in front of some preacher guy or so, saying like, you know, God made, man to be a man, not man to be a woman. And then the same thing for a person, like, same thing for a woman not to be a man, it's woman to be a woman. And then the guy literally comes up and just pulls out a fucking gun, literally pulls out a gun on the fucking dude. And it's like, god damn, dude, that's crazy. That's legit crazy. Like, all these mentally ill people need to be, they definitely got to be locked up, in my personal opinion. I'm like, the longer they're out in society, the more, they're gonna cause chaos to other people around them.
So obviously there's still like a lot of confusing details about this whole story. We probably will never know like the full extent, like what really led up to all this, how this was all even started. We know what we know, and that's probably all we're really gonna know about this one. But my thing is it just seems like recently, especially, all of the reasons why I wouldn't want to be an IRL streamer, they're just on full display right here, bro. It's already kind of bad enough, I feel like, streaming at your own setup at your house or at a studio, because even then, right, people fucking SWAT these streamers, they send the police over and harass you, and they fuck with you and all this other kind of stuff, right? That's already bad enough, and that's already a big enough problem to deal with. But this whole IRL streaming thing opens up an entirely new avenue of danger. I think people, they think that like when they see these IRL streams, like, oh, there's no way that someone could find out like where this person is, or like, what location they're currently at, right? But I mean, you gotta think, like, this guy seems like he was a local, you know what I mean? Because he knew the streamer, and like, I think he lived in Tokyo here too. So like he probably was able to know, like, cause it was like his neighborhood or whatever, right? Like, oh, she's down there at the fucking, you know, Shake Shack on First Street. You know what I mean? And even then, like, there's just people online who are so deranged. They're so insane. They've got literally nothing better to do. They will dedicate their time to finding out where you're at just to fuck with you. It's like a level of stream sniping or something like that, bro. It's just...
So, I remember the early times of the show when I was like streaming or so. I literally had people join in my stream, literally trying to say the N-word in my actual stream itself, and I'm just like, no, we're not having that here. So
insane. And of course, being out in public like this, I mean, you can never blame the woman here because like everyone has a right to go outside and be in public, right? But on top of that, I mean, let's imagine like you're walking down the street, you know, there's alleyways, there's businesses, there's houses. There's a lot of different places to fucking hide. And if you're one of these like crazy lunatics trying to hunt this poor woman down over money you gave her, there's so many different places to hide and for you to be out of sight. I feel like it's 100% impossible to fully know your full surroundings at all times, right? Like it only takes a couple of seconds of having your guard down before something like this happens. It's just such a horrible story, man. I think because it happened in Japan, it probably will get a lot less coverage here in America than it probably deserves, but this is once again one of those things.
Not unless it's Japanese YouTubers. That probably wouldn't be a thing or so. That probably would be a thing where it covers it, you know, like there's some like English speaking, you know, Japanese YouTubers.
Man, I think that this is like one of those very shocking, cautious tales of what this whole thing entails, because IRL streaming, I'm sure it goes great for most people who do it, but I mean, if you make even one enemy by accident out there, you're really just in a position to have a death that everyone's gonna remember. And it's just so shitty. I can't imagine sitting there watching like that stream. This is someone you enjoy watching, and you have to watch this like brutal murder take place, man. I'm sure a lot of people were fucked up seeing that. You know what I mean? They didn't want to see that ever. From the sound of it, like, you know, you just hear this woman screaming. It's like a black screen. The occasional shots you see of the suspect here, he's just coated in blood. Yeah, that would freak me the fuck out, man. I don't know. Just such a sad story. It really blows your mind, like just how far people are willing to take this internet shit, dude. But anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm kind of deciding probably not to do an IRL stream far off into the future. I don't know, it's kind of terrifying, to be honest, just to have like random people like that just kind of like just come up to you and try to, you know, stab you or so for money or so. Or it could be anything, to be honest, at this point, you know, because it is Japan, right? It can be basically anything. So I always 100% try to hide myself, 1000%. You know, I try to make sure I got no information about my whereabouts or anything when I'm streaming, so. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, in my personal opinion. Probably one of the most craziest things to kind of hear and witness, to be honest. But yeah, oof. My condolences to the Japanese girl. Unfortunately, my condolences. You know, it kind of does suck. You know, a lot of friends, you know, loved ones, family members, friends, and stuff like that has lost someone important in their life and everything. So yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff, and yeah, broadcasting your locations is extremely dangerous. Nothing ever happens in Japan, but when it does, it's always crazy. That's very true. That's actually very true. Usually not a lot of things happen in Japan, but when it does, usually a lot of shit hits the fan hard. Yeah, someone tracked down a VTuber. Yeah, that's Kamiya. According to the actual story, he wasn't even a fan. She was borrowing a lot of money from people and ghosting them when they tried to get repaid. Sounds like this is one of the guys she scammed. I'm not excusing for what he did. He is a monster, but she was bad too. She didn't deserve this, but was not innocent in all of this. I see, I see. She's not exactly the good guy either in this story. Doesn't mean she should have died, but she was stealing money from guys online, asking people to help with her debt, and then just blocking them and not giving people's money back. Oof, yikes. She literally borrowed 25K from him and kept ducking him when he asked to be paid back. I see. It says she was a voice actor. She was a voice actor, really? Let's see. Hold on, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the name real quick. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of research real fast. We're gonna do some research right here, right now. Ai Mogami. Her real name, Airi Sato. Complex financial relationship. Yeah, that's the one thing why I'm always super overprotective when it comes to any information about me. So let me see. So Mogami's relationship with Takano had begun through her live streaming platform Watch, where she became popular figure with over 2,600 followers. Over time, the two became involved in financial exchange, in Takano lending large sums of money of the streamer, who would often request loans under various pretexts. So conditions, I assume. So there are certain conditions that he wanted. So let's see. So despite Takano's financial support, no repayments from Mogami. Fans who have followed Mogami's livestream noticed a pattern in her interactions with Takano. One fan mentioned hearing about Mogami borrowing money from her followers. She would mention that she needed help with her finance, saying things like, "I forgot my wallet," or "I'm short on rent." Over time, some fans became concerned that this wasn't just a casual borrowing, but rather a reoccurring issue. Appears to be a scale, ultimately resulting to a violent attack. Situations in private messages where he claimed he had been manipulated to providing financial support. I've been following for Ai for over a year, and she always seems so strong. It's hard to believe something like this happened. Said one longtime viewer. Now I just feel lost. I was there watching her last moments unfold, and there was nothing I could do. Could be. Granted, there's not really a lot of stuff that we can go with, you know? I think she was just a live streamer. Oh, is that where you're looking at? Oh, what the fuck? I don't want to see this. Stop. Can you send me that link real quick? Post that link real fast. It'll get blocked, but I should be able to see it, so. Let me see. Surprised it didn't get blocked, actually. Oh my lord, Jesus Christ. Wow, she was 22. Wow, so young. What a baby. Wow, what a baby. Yeah, 30 times, dude. That's definitely... Over 17,000 or 2.5 million yen. Damn, that's a lot of money though. Jesus Christ. Hey, average power. I don't see that she was a voice actress. Doesn't say it here. I think she was just an influencer who had like a normal job and everything, so. Yeah, it's just a girl. It's just a girl who was an influencer. That's scary though. This is terrifying. Yeah, I don't know. I think the bigger I get her, so the more I'm gonna be more secure about my, you know, about my well-being or so when it comes to this. Oof, that's terrifying. Oof, that's scary. That's really scary. That's just terrifying. Because she owed money. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is terrifying, to be honest. Even then, you shouldn't even be borrowing money to begin with. Actually, if you can't pay it back, if that's the number one thing, I don't even borrow money, to be honest. I don't borrow money. I don't even ask people for money. I just kind of earn it myself and just, you know, do what I gotta do. But even that, live streaming also terrifying for IRL, anyways. So I think definitely the bigger I get, or so, the more protective I'm going to be. So, but yeah, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff, and yeah, that's terrifying, man. That's actually really scary indeed. Oof, God. Eesh. My condolences goes out because, you know, even though she was a terrible person, you know, definitely should have not died. But hey, man, it is what it is. Just be careful. Just be careful out there. So you don't know who you're borrowing money from until it's too late, you know. But yeah, that's the end of the video, and peace.